Well, I'm going to try this again. I am, it's a training process for me. I'm learning. So bear me with my mistakes. I'm going to start with Deuteronomy 1:1. This is going to let us know who the Lord is talking to when the scriptures goes out. This Bible was written for one nation of people, and that is the Israelites. Actually, there's 12 tribes from Israel, named after Jacob. Remember, Jacob had his name changed to Israel, and he had 12 sons. And the 12 sons were called the Israelites. So when you read the Bible, you have to know who you are in the Bible. So if you don't know who you are in the Bible, when you read it, it just seems like a story to you. So you get non-effective because you don't know who the characters in the Bible are. So how can you read a book and don't know who the characters are? So you just reading. So when you hear something in the Bible, you do not understand it because you just think they're talking about people back in the unbiblical days. But the Bible is written for you. It's your future and it's your past. It's your history. It's your nationality. Because they remove all your history and your nationality from you when they brought you over here during slavery. It was a process, but they did it. Because right now today, if I ask 10 Negroes, so-called Negroes, what is their nationality? They say African American. Africa original name was Ham, which was one of Moses' sons, Ham. And he was a so-called African. But that has nothing to do with the name of Africa. See, back then the landmass were named after people. And Africa was a so-called white man. His name was Africana. When they conquered Africa, they give it their name, just like now. Every time the United States conquers a land, they give it its own name. We are from the tribe of Shem. Shem is the so-called Jews or the so-called Negroes of today. See, when you read Deuteronomy 1, this be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel. He's talking about us, the so-called Negro. So when you read the Bible, you will understand who you are and who is it talking to. The so-called white man nationality name is Esau. That's their nationality. They do not want you to call them by their name because when you read Esau in the Bible, you see that God hates them. Romans 9:13. You see where God hates them. People say, oh, God don't hate. God is a man of war. Not what they teach in Christianity. Love, love, love. That's to get your mind off track. Then God destroyed the Egyptians. Then God used Joshua. He destroyed many nations. Then when the people came out of when the so-called Negroes, which were the Hebrews that the Egyptians had in slavery for 400 years. Remember when we came out of Egypt, went into the wilderness, all them people that we fought and destroyed by the hand of the Lord. So the Lord is not what they teach you in the church today. He's a man of war. He coming back for destruction. He came here meek the first time, but not the next time. But back to Deuteronomy 1. As it was said, which Moses spake unto all the children of Israel. So he's talking to us, the so-called Negroes, or the Bible. So I go to Deuteronomy 28:1. This is Moses telling us what's going to happen to us because we disobeyed the law. But this what would have happened to us if we would have obeyed the law. And it goes something like this. It shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all the commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. If we would have obeyed the Lord, we would have been set on high. We wouldn't be in the condition that we're in now. But we disobeyed the commandments. They teach you in church that there's only 10 commandments. It's really 613. You have a dietary law. You have wages law. You have a marital law. You have a healing law. You have a law on how to have your hair, clothes to wear. There's so many different laws, but they don't teach you. It's 613. The Lord said they are not grievous once you learn them. They are not grievous. They're easy to do. But since we didn't do that, we went to worshiping other gods when God let us go. So this is what happened to us right here. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord their God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, you tell me that the curses I'm finna read to you don't fit the so-called Negroes, Native Indian, and so-called Mexicans. They're all our brothers. They all make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Cursed shall thou be in the city, cursed shall thou be in the field. One week in slavery, one week in the field picking cotton, and right now today, and we cursed in the city, and we getting shot down, and our kids getting killed. We cursed in the city. And check this out. Curse shall be in the basket and in the stores. We don't own no store. We have to go to, we don't own nothing. Everything we get, we have to get from the so-called white man, which his biblical name is Esau. Cursed shall we be the fruit of the body, the fruit of the land, the increase of kine and the flock of their sheep. In other words, we shall be cursed because we don't have no land. And when we were in slavery, we planted the garden, but we didn't yield none of the fruits. They had it. The so-called white man, our slave master took everything. They had everything, so we didn't have anything. So we cursed. Curse shall be when we coming in. Curse shall be when we goes out. That's self-explanatory. We curse when we get up in the morning and go out to work. We curse when we get and come home from work. We work for them. We have nothing. And I'm going to go down to the meat of the thing and tell you, thus said the Lord. I'm going down there to 28:68. And now you tell me this is not us. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Where if you go to Exodus, I think it's 20:2 or either 2:20. Egypt means bondage. Bondage means slavery. So I'm going to replace the word Egypt with bondage as a easier way for you to understand it. And the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again with ships. That means slavery. That means they gathered us up, brought us on ships to North America. That's how we get where we. That's how we get to the United States of America, through ships. And whereof I spake unto thee. Whereas Moses told us this. Thou shalt see it no more again. We shall see our homeland no more again. Our homeland is not Africa. We ran from Roman prosecution. And I think it was 60, 2 A.D., we was running from the Roman prosecution. So we ran to the west coast of Africa and blend in with the Africans. And the Romans were unable to find us because we looked just like them. We were dark skinned, just like us today. But the Africans were mad because we came over there and we was building stuff. We was making stuff. We brought our history with us then. So they started selling us to the Arab, the Portuguese, the Chinese, the Japanese. That's why the Lord said we shall be scattered abroad, which we were scattered. Every nation bought us. There was not blacks selling blacks. It was Africans selling Hebrew Israelite, which is us. Right now, today, a lot of people think they're African, but you're not. You ran from Roman prosecution to get to Africa. Right now, today, an African have nothing to do with you. He's not in your church. He's not in your stores. He's not in your neighborhood. He's not at the movie with you. He's not at the club with you. They have nothing to do with you. The first thing we said, we African American. Africa has 52 countries. Which one do you come from? If you ask an African or a true African where he come from, he tell you the name of his country. He tell you the name. We can't tell you that because we don't come from there. If you read Galatians 6:24, you will see that Jerusalem is the mother of us all. You have to read the Bible for yourself. Quit letting people read the Bible for you. Go to it and read it. No more again. So we don't see our land again. Our land is occupied by the Ashkenazi Jews. They're not even real Jews. They come from Europe. They come out of the Caucasus Mountain or Russia, Georgia. That's where you get the name Caucasian, mean cave dweller. That is them. They come out of the caves of Europe. All white people come out of the caves of Europe. They were the original cavemen, and they know this. They flipped the script. So basically, everything that you hear a white man say, just change it around because they flipped the script. They the one that was inferior. They cannot stand in the sun. They get skin cancer. They get diseases. They die. Sun make us stronger. So they are not over us. We're over them. Well, back to the scripture. There you shall be sold to your enemy. All the other nations are our enemies. The Lord said we shall be sold to our enemies. We were sold all over the world, slaves everywhere. And right now today, they still are over us. They bring these stoves and put in your neighborhood, and you still up under their feet. They whoop your ass. They degrade you, treat you like animals, and you still back at that store the next day. We are lost people as a whole. You shall be sold unto your enemy for bond men, slave men, and bond women, slave women. For no man shall buy thee. Jesse Jackson didn't free you. Martin Luther King didn't free you. Malcolm X didn't free you. Marcus Garvey didn't free you. Nobody freed you. You still slave mentally and physically. Of course, you got a few so-called Negroes have something that they can hang their hat on, and they will quickly throw that in your face. But I guarantee you, if you ask them what is their nationality, they do not know. With all the education they have, they could be a doctor, and the first thing they'll tell you is that they are African American. We are the only people on 53. I done witnessed 3 to 4 changes in our nationality. From Negroe to black, African American. And before then, you was called every other name. Coon. Anything they can think of. 3/5 of a human being, which is on the books right now today, Constitution, pull it up. So, you are not free. It's just like a dog. If you got an acre of land, and you had the dog changed up, but when you take him off the chain, he can roam on that acre of land, but he can't get off the land. And that's where we at. We still slaves, mentally. You still work for them. I don't care what you do. You work for them. Even if you own your own company, you work for them. You got to go to them, get your loan, get your money. You got to do everything. They make everything. They own everything. You own nothing. Oh, there's so much to tell. So much in this Bible they're not teaching us. My main thing for tonight is that I wish and pray that the so-called Negroe take that Bible and read it for themselves. And don't let them teach you in that church, because the pastor is not teaching you correctly. I promise you. Once you open up that book and start reading and show that self-approval, you'll see that he's been lying to you all the time. That's all they know how to do. They just want to take your money. You go to church on a Sunday when you're supposed to be in church on the 7th, which is Saturday. The 10 Commandments that they teach you, the 4th one say thou shalt honor or observe the Sabbath, which is on the Saturday. The Lord called it abomination to be in church on Sunday. It is an abomination. So you already committed a sin. They right there. The reason why they do that is because they know Saturday you busy. You in the club. You going to the store. You going to football games. So they won't have you in the church to be empty. So they can't get the money to build and make a church. Please read and study the Bible on your own. Get your books. Get your Bible dictionary. And learn it. Because they're not teaching you what you need to know in church.